Hi guys, Rjpasini from Rjpasini.com. Coming to you today to talk a little about making custom boxes, crafting boxes out of big boxes to fit particular items in there. For example, I sold this Apple mouse here, right? And whenever I sell stuff like this, I always prep them. I make sure I clean them up and then I wrap them in a bag. Also, with that in mind, before I wrap them up, I always like to do a little extra. You might say, well, you're going a little out of your way with it. I like to protect this here, and the reason why I like to put it in like this is a padded envelope. I would cut this here and tape it up, is because if it's in here, when I wrap it up, I don't want this to scratch the mouse. Okay, so that's one of the things I do. But the other thing is, when you're crafting boxes, you know what I do, folks? I save these boxes. Now these are used boxes, and I use the dimensions on them. Okay, and what I do with them is, I try to make a box that's going to accommodate the item I'm selling. Like for example, this one here. This is a little Sony box, right? This box is going to be perfect for what I need for. All right. When I put this mouse in here, the dimensions after you fold it up like this. I know a lot of people out there might say this is too much work to do, but let me tell you something. If you're going to put a little item like this in a big box, something like this size, you're wasting a lot of postage, and you know what? You end up coming out losing. Okay? There's no need to put a little thing like this in a big box. All right? So that's why I save these here as templates. All right? It's a lot of work. Some people may say, "Oh, I ain't going to do that," and I save different sizes. Like I got a size like this here. And you do it like this here. This is the size it would be. Again, even this would be too big for it, but I save it. So I save it as a template. See, like even this would be too big for it. All right? Just to show you really quick. So even this would be too big. People say, not really, it is, it'd be too big. It's what you're wasting a lot of postage. So what I do is, putting these on the side, what I do is, first and foremost, the first thing I do is I keep a rag with me, keep a little alcohol, spritz bottle, and I like to clean up the item really quick. I did this earlier. I spray the alcohol on here, I clean it up, I put it on here. Take this little scissors I got here, and I cut it, and again I like to wrap it around here just to protect it from getting scratched. I don't want to scratch the the mouse. Okay, now some people may say, well, it's a mouse, people might not complain. You never know. I know for a fact if I got something like this and it was rubbing against the end, it came back all scratched. Look how nice and shiny this thing is, like new. Would you want to have this thing scratching it? I mean, what does it take? An extra second or so just to wrap it up. I put it in the bag. Okay, this is how I like to send my stuff out. I don't send them open. I don't like to send them in an open thing, like just throw them in a thing in a box. And now that it's protected, what I would do is I would cut this bag down, of course, cut it down to size, as I normally would. All right, cut it down. I even save the extra plastic because I might need it for something else. Right. Take your tape gun. Well, I have the little one over here. I have two types of tape gun here. I like to just wrap it up like this here. Okay. This. I'm going to try to do this fast, folks. I mean, I'm going to try. Every time I say I'm going to try, it ends up going a lot longer. Yesterday I did a video on the sneak peek and it turned out to be 50 minutes. I'm sorry about that. I really am. You know what it is? I try to be thorough in what I do. Okay, so what I do is I wrap this up like this. Now you might say, well, that's it? So you're just going to throw it? No, I'm not. There's going to be padding around here, of course. But, so you want to do, in case like that there, I chose this box. This box is going to be perfect for it because it's a small box and I'll be able to put padding in there. And as you can see, this will fit in there. This little box will accommodate it. It's got height. It's got the height over here, so I can put padding on the top and bottom. I've used these before to send out mouses, and it works great. Now you might be saying, well, what box are you going to use to craft this here? Very simple. First off, what you want is to have a pack of these here around and a utility. I got these at Walmart. This was only $2.95. I didn't buy the expensive one. I was going to get a real expensive one, the metal one that cost like maybe $15, $20. I said, what do I need it for? I said, all I want is the blade, and it comes with the protector right here. I think I paid $2.95 for this, and I think these blades were like $1 something, $1 change. Okay, so what I did was, now again at Walmart, I bought a box of this. Now you guys know I take these big boxes and I craft these here. I craft the guitar boxes out of them. When I sell the Rock Band Harmonix Band box, this is what I would use. Now, all right, I'm going to be shy on, but I'm going to go. I have another box to make more guitar boxes. Out of one box like this, I get 2 guitar boxes out of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I took this here really quick, and see the flap here? See how this works? How this looks here? The template? Look, it looks perfect, right? What you do is you take your utility knife, cut it, make sure it's nice and sharp if you could. Try to get a good part of it. This is a nice sharp knife. Okay, so what you're going to do is I'm going to put this to the side over here. Okay, what you do is you take it like this. I'm going to warm webcam down here real quick and show you. Hopefully this is not going to take a long time. Okay, it's a little shiny on top of here, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the bottom part here. Well, at least get the cleanest as you can. Okay, all right. I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody. I'm not saying that you should do this for everything, but that's totally up to you. All right, this is totally up to you. I keep a yardstick with me too. I'm working on a desk here, but you know why? The reason why people probably wonder, why do you just do? I got a video cam too. I could do it on the table and stuff, but you know what? It's easier this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this here. All right, I'm just going to measure it really quick. I like to always pencil it, pen it first. Use the pen with it. Okay, give it a light score. You don't want to cut the desk. You don't, even though you're going to cut it off, you don't want to penetrate to the desk. Okay, whoopsie. I hate when that happens. Don't you hate when that happens, when the thing, you think you got it tight and the thing moves? Okay, we're not being perfect with this here. And again, it keeps going off track here. All right, so I use this here to fold it up here. Actually, I should put it this way. These boxes are a little stubborn. All right, so once you get a decent clean edge over here, again, doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Just be careful you don't cut yourself. I don't recommend kids doing this here. Parents, don't let your kids do this. Okay. Now you do is go like this. People always wonder, well, how are you going to get the dimensions? Very simple. Okay. Again, I know a lot of people are not going to go through this here, and I don't blame you. You don't have to. I'm doing it because I don't have I don't have custom boxes like this here, and I'm not going to put them in a big box and get postage, because now if you do it that way, now you got to overcharge the customer, because now you're paying for the they got to pay for a heavier box, So I mean, how long could this possibly take? You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it, right? So that's how you got to look at it. And this little piece here, you want this here, okay? And this you go like this, all right? But you go like this here. Same thing here, all right? Just make your marks. Same thing. I'm not going to do the other box, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm just going to do this one because I don't want to take too much of your time. This does take time. The mailman came already. I knew this was going to happen, so I figured, you know what? Let me share this with the people that follow me on YouTube. This way you get an idea. It's I'm not saying this is for everybody, folks. I'm not saying you're going to go out and say, hey, I'm going to do what that guy did there. I'm not telling you that's what you got to do. Okay, so you're going to have a template like this here. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes it don't. Just go like this here, pick up the line. Like this. Now some people may look at it and say this is too much work. Now there's another alternative. Now this is where you're going to meet your two connections here, right? This, like this here. As long as you get it in the middle, okay, like this. And sometimes even doing this, folks, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come out 100% either. No, I mean like sometimes the lines don't actually line up all the time. But you know what? It's to get it out there. Now you have to go across here. Okay, this has to definitely just be a fold. Okay, so now you're going to have something like this. Okay, again, I'm trying to do this fast, so please bear with me here. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to cut this here out. Now, this is where scissors would come in handy. I know, it's like, what it's like? It reminds you, and the only time you could do stuff like this, folks, the only time you could do stuff like this when it's slow. I only had the 2 items go out. Yesterday I had about 7 items, I believe, went out. But the only time you could actually do stuff like this, folks, is when it's a slow day. You say, well, it's slow, I could add a little time to it. Normally, I'll show you another way you could do it, too. I don't recommend it because if something happens where the item gets damaged, you're going to hear it from your buyer. Okay, so this here has to be folded on. Now you can start to see what's going on here. Okay, start to see what's going on. See here? You start to see a picture. Okay. So now what you're going to do is very lightly score it. Keep it on the desk. Follow that line. This is why I follow line. I said, well, just use a ruler. You could do that with the ruler too if you want. Again, don't scratch your desk or cut the desk. We don't have to. If you have a utility table, it's good to do it. I have my webcam on my computer here, so that's why I'm doing it this way. All right. And then you go across like this. Now you got to go all the way across like this. I'm not 100% on the line, but I'm doing this fast because, like I said, I know guys doing this stuff here can be very time consuming, and I know you guys probably have better things to do, sit here and watch some guy craft boxes, but It's just a little pointer, and I only recommend you do this here when it's slow, okay? I don't recommend you do it all the time. Okay, now you're going to cut your lines here like this. I think I did a video like this once before on the crafting boxes. I don't think too many people are going to want to do this here, but you know what? I do it because I know if I put it in an oversized box, especially if you didn't allow enough postage for it, you're going to be eating the postage, the additional postage, okay? All right. So this is what you do. Now I think you can start to see what's going on. Okay, now you got to go like this now. Okay, now you can see where these folds come in. All right. And if everything works out right, it should be almost as perfect like the other box. Okay. Let me see. I think there's something I'm missing here. No? Okay. All right, here we go. Now, when you get it like this, I don't like to see the Walmart thing. It doesn't look too professional like that. Okay. And you go like this with this here. And this tucks in like this. See? So now you almost got the same, pattern as the box, the original box. Keep it neat. Get like this here, that, the excess. Get this guy in here. I'm going to use the little tape one just to help me out. It's like my little fingers here to help me out right here, folks. Okay. So now I got that guy there. Then you're going to take your craft tape like this here. Oh, popped open. That tape, for some reason, doesn't stick too good. I don't know why. That's always been a problem with this type of tape. It never really holds up. That's why you got to use the brown tape. And even that sometimes doesn't work. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to go like this here. I made it a little too big, but that's okay because it's going to have a purpose for it, like this, like that, like this. I know it seems like a lot of work, folks. People say, I know I could hear people saying on the other side here, on this here, I am not going to do this here. It's ludicrous. Well, I mean, look, it may be ludicrous, but if you got you know a supply store where you get your small boxes and stuff like that, like I go to Walmart. Walmart does not carry boxes like this. They don't. I can tell you right at the front because I've been there, I checked on them, and they don't. All right, so I can tell you right to boot. Again, this box is coming out a little, not as neat as I would like it to be, but with the craft, with this brown tape, I kind of dressed it up a little. Now you might say over here, this is the thing, when you reverse the box, you always have an open edge like that, okay? If you did it the other way, you wouldn't have that problem. But this is where I use this like this. Just to, I know it seems like, again, it seems like a lot of work. And this is a little sloppy, only because I'm rushing it fast. Yeah, I don't want to take time up, like I said. And yes, and people might say, well, you use a lot of tape. Yes and no, you do. It depends, Sometimes you could do this here, really. It depends. That's why I don't like using a sharp knife all the time. Because when the sharper the knife, the deeper it makes a cut in there. Normally, I don't have to use this much here, okay? And I always try to get the sides that exposed like that. That's because, and let me tell you something with cardboard. With these cardboard boxes from Walmart, they're very brittle. Very brittle, And I'm just trying to give it a little shove. I like to keep it like this here. Try to keep it somewhat neat. I can't say 100%. But yeah, these boxes, for some reason, are very brittle. And it's like cracking an egg open here sometimes. That, all right, and that's how you would do that there. And again, just one more across there just to make it look uniform and just to give it a support. I know a lot of people are not going to do this, like I said, but that's okay. You don't have to get this one corner here. And sometimes it's good to use a semi-dull knife, only because you have all these extra things that you have to put tape on. Normally, I don't have to do this here, and that's basically how it is. Anyway, as you can see, I got my box. Okay. See, now I'm going to show you something really quick here. This one is cut all the way through here. Right. My fault. If you look inside, you wouldn't need a tape. It's because I reversed the box. So if I reversed the box the other way, it would have been nice and neat like that. I wouldn't have to use all that tape. The only thing you might want to do, being you're doing it this way, I don't suggest you do it all the time, but you see that little part? Because remember, now that was once glued. See that little piece on the side over here? Where is it here? Right there? Oh, it's on the side over there. That there, you might just want to put a little tape on it. And again, that's how I do it. Then you're all set to go. Okay? Now, you put your padding in there, your packing material. Okay? And your mouse still has plenty of time for pack it up. You've got plenty of room to put your padding on there. Okay? Perfect size. Okay? this is how I like to set my stuff out. This is going to go out today. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make a box for this. It's the same thing. Do I want to use a big oversized box? Do I want to use a box this big? I mean, you know, like something really big on it. So what I did was I took this box. This is going to be the elected box to use. Again, I'm going to do, like, I'm not going to show you again because, like I said, I'm not going to take your time up, but I'm going to use this box here. This is perfect. Okay, it was a used box, and this box will accommodate this. These are Xbox headset. Okay, I got it apart, but you can see it's going to go in here like this. So after it gets wrapped up, it's got to be more wrapped up a lot better than that, of course. And again, it'll have enough room to pad on the top and the bottom and the sides. Okay, so that's how that's how I do that. Now, the other thing I was talking about, another way to, you know, get around it if you don't want to go through all of that nonsense using template boxes, you could do is this. I keep a bag over here with scraps. I don't throw these out. Okay, and the reason why I don't throw them out is another reason. Here's another reason why. Now, and again, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, you could do something like this, folks. I've done this in the past. I don't really like doing it. All right, but what you would do is actually like this. What you do is take a pen here like this, okay, and you would do again. This is going to come out like I said. Again, there's a method to the madness. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now you got the mouse like that. Again, right. This way gives you a little idea of where make the cut. This does not have to be perfect, folks. This does not have to be perfect. Just make sure you don't have your mouse or whatever it is there. That should be slicing it up, and then the bile will get it all scratched up, and that's the last thing you need. And then the same thing with this here. This, right? It's just a pointer, just a tip, folks. You don't have to do this. Like I said, if you don't want to do it, you can do whatever you want to do it. It seems long, this video, only because I'm showing you two methods, okay? But that's up to you, all right? Take this here, again, take the item out, and you go like this. All right, so now you got something like this. And, of course, again, with the item out, you just need a little like that. Okay, like this here. Cut it. I'm not going to send it out this way, folks, by the way. Actually, what I might do is, I could do two things. So I really want to protect this thing for the buyer. And then what you do is you put a piece of tape around here. And then I buy these big envelopes. This one here is 12 by 25. What was the dimensions on here? It usually has dimensions on this thing. But anyway, I buy the biggest envelope they have. I get this at the dollar store. I love these here because when you tape these things up, they stick really good. Okay? So here's another method you could do too. I don't recommend it. I don't know. You know, if the buyer gets it, will the buyer be pissed off if it doesn't get there in one piece? It'll protect them from getting crushed. So what you do is, this tape here, that's not that great. Again, what I would do is take this box with this big envelope. I have different sizes too. I have another size, a little smaller. No, this is a bigger one now. I used to have smaller sizes here, but I guess I ran out of them. What I would do is take this here. I put the item in the envelope, and I hate when people do this. It is such a waste of an envelope. You say, yeah, but it's nice and padded. It's a waste of an envelope. I don't care what anybody tells me. Okay. What I do is, I'm not going to cut this one. I want to destroy it. What I do is I just use like a handfold here, like this, right? Okay. Take it out like that there. I take the item out, or you can mark it with a pen. I don't want to mess this one up. You can mark it with a pen. Cut straight across. Right? You cut straight across. Now you say, yeah, but what are you going to do here? The ceiling part here. That's where the tape comes in, folks. You could use the craft tape. And that's what I do, is I go right across here. First I use the clear, then I use this one here, the brown tape. That is the alternate way of doing it if you want to save on that there. Now, if I send this out like this here, will it be protected? Well, I usually put a little paper on the sides over here. We don't want this to get crushed. Actually, this is nice and firm. I mean, you would really have to really put a lot of oomph on it to make it crush, you know. Would it get there okay? Yeah. Could I just throw it in there really quick? People might say, well, I'm going to try that then. Maybe I'll try your method. What's the worst that can happen? It gets there, it gets damaged. They'll send it back to say the item came back. I received the item saying it got crushed. Okay. I'm going to put it in a little box though, because I want to get that a little extra protection. You know, I'm not going to put this. Whoopsie. I'm not going to put this in there. You know, but what I'll do is I'll put my paper in there, or I have shredded paper. Or I have my shred bin. I put it in top and bottom, I stick this in the middle. I take the my little packing slip here, and that's the other thing too, folks, really quick. Here's the package slip. Now, I print out my labels, all right? I print out my labels just to show you really quick. Okay, so when I do this here, I don't throw this paper away, okay? I'm very frugal and conservative, so people might say, well, that may work for you, not for me. I take this here, I put this in my laser printer. Now, when I print my labels out, my postage, it comes on this here, I cut it out, and then I don't even throw the scrap paper away. I put it in my shred bin, and I have shredded material to use as packing. But at the same time, now if you don't believe me, you could always check this out for yourself. I cut this paper down to size. Okay, I cut it down, and I'll tell you why. You might say, wait a minute, why is this guy doing this? Because believe it or not, having that additional paper around it, I know it sounds crazy. Try it for yourself. Get yourself a nice little scale, and you'll see what I'm talking about. After you get it packed up, right? You got your packaging material in there, it's all secured and ready to go. Test it out with this, like this size sheet in there, and look at your scale. It will drop it up a ½ ounce to an ounce. It depends. It might make it go over. What I do is, again, I take this here. All right. You don't need all the excess paper. People may say, well, I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to. Look, I do this all the time, okay? When I have stuff to go out. And then I would just fold it up like this here. I make sure, I check it again, make sure this is an Apple laser mouse, that this is what the person's getting. I always like to confirm. Here's the sheet I print out too, with the buyer's name information on it. I write my little notations on here. I wrote how much it weighed, what the ounces are, how much the total postage is. Did it go out USPS priority, first class package, medium mail, whatever. And then I put alongside here, sent on the date. So today, this will be sent out 8/29, Tuesday. And I have a record out there. The ones that have, I live in New York, the ones that have New York sales tax on them, I do is I write over here, New York sales tax 2017. I highlight it and highlight the area where it says tax, sales tax. This way I know when I go through my paperwork, oh, this is New York sales tax, I can take the money out for that. So that's why I print this out. This here is the transaction detail sheet, okay? So that's what I do with that. With this stuff here, now the same thing. I print out my labels, I save this here, if I cut it down to size, I save this, I throw it in my shred bin. Everything is utilized. Here, I always like to include a packing slip, and that's just exactly what this is. It's a packing slip. The person's name on it, how much they paid for it, shipping, and everything on here. Take this here. You can do it like this, whatever you want to do. I usually like to put a little tape on the bottom of it so it doesn't get lost. It shouldn't get lost, and I just put like a little something on the side here, and that's how I do that there. And again, you could do two things when it comes to packaging this thing here. You can put newspaper in here, or you can use that shredding material like I was talking about on my shred box. It goes in there, makes it great packing. Look at my, if you ever want to check something out, folks, look at my feedbacks, and you'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of people like the way I package stuff. I take my time doing this stuff. I know a lot of people, I don't know if people would do this here, go through this here. Let me get this box out of here. So it bothers me to put it on the screen. A lot of people probably wouldn't go through this here protecting it, but you know something? It does make sense. I mean, think about this here. This is a nice shiny Apple mouse. It's pretty clean condition. Really no scuff marks on it or scratches. That thing, if it gets jostled around the box and you just like throw it in there without a protection on there, it could scratch the mouse. I know me personally, if I was thrifting in the stores, I've seen mouses that have scratches on them, and they're good mouses. They're Logitech, they might be Microsoft, but I will not buy a mouse like that that's been scratched up like that. That's not the way I like to do things. Let me just move this over here for a second. There you go. Okay. So, and that's the situation with me. But that's how I like to do it. And again, it's how do you, it all depends on how you want to send your items out. If you want to send them out, make your own. I know a lot of people are going to probably comment and saying, it's a good gesture, but I don't have the time to do it. I am not going to do it. And that's fine. You don't have to. But the only time you will care, folks, you will care if you have a box like this laying around. You might say, well, I'll just go to the store and pick one. You could do that. But again, I can't see using a box this size. Okay, look at it. Now people might say, well, if you have a source to get boxes smaller boxes, that'll accommodate this little mouse, go right ahead. It's too much. I mean, you put a lot of paper in there. Look, it'll be floating around in there. Okay? It'll be floating around. You don't need an oversized box. Okay? That's totally up to you. This box, I am going to use for this. Okay? You might say, that doesn't look like it's going to, it'll fit. It'll fit. Believe me, it'll fit in there. And this one, once I tape everything up, I tie it down close, it'll be okay. This will fit. I've done this a long, like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. I make my own custom boxes. If you look at some of my videos in the past, I make custom boxes for the Rock Band guitars. And I did a video on that, and that was kind of long. I showed you from start to finish. And I don't think people are going to go that route. They're gonna, I don't think there's people out there that are gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna definitely do with that." Look, folks, the only reason why I do these custom boxes like this here is, one, I have the time. It's slow. I could do it. If this was fair, if I had a lot of these things going out and I'm busy, I am not going to craft. I'll tell you right to boot. I am not going to craft all these boxes. Okay, I'll tell you right to boot. I am not going to craft all of these boxes. What I would probably do, people say, okay, well, what are you going to do then? You're going to put an oversized? No, I'm not. I'm not going to put them in an oversized box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like I said here. Pop it in a box like this, right? Oh, it's a little snug here. Pop it in a box like this. Put it in a padded envelope. Leave enough space there to write in there. Do not crush or bend or whatever. I usually put do not drop or crush, okay? And fragile, handle with care. Now, it's protected. It's still wrapped up in a box, but you say, yeah, but it's in a thin padded envelope here. I'll be honest with you, even if this thing did drop, okay, in a padded envelope, I doubt very much you could have a problem with these. They're pretty durable, okay? I've dropped my mouse a couple of times, okay? I mean, it's when I'm moving stuff around the desk. I have a wired one. I have a wired Logitech. I dropped it a couple times. When I was moving something on the desk, boom, it hit the floor. It's on a carpet, but still, it didn't damage it. I mean, everything's still functional on it, okay? As long as nobody runs over this here with a truck, it's going to be okay. Trust me. I've done it before. I'm just showing you the two methods. You want to make it sure it's prepared. You want to prep it right to make sure that when it gets to the buyer, they're not going to complain and say, hey, I received your mouse today, and it was all busted up, it was all smashed. If you're going to do it like that, and people may even do, I've seen things come in the mail where people just take something like this, they throw them in a smaller padded envelope, of course. They just take something and just throw it in a padded envelope. I've seen that happen, okay? And people take chances. I don't, okay? If you're going to put something like this, freely like this, just in a padded envelope, I'll take it like this, throw it in a padded envelope, go right ahead. You may be getting complaints. If you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, at least put it in a box like this. It takes 2 seconds, well, whatever, 15, 20 seconds, right? And save scraps. Save scraps. Believe me, it helps out, okay? Save them. And I do. I save the scraps because I use these for this type of things. That's what I use them for. All right, guys, listen. I got to craft another box, like I said, for this guy here. He's going out. So I'm waiting for the people to pay, but in the meantime, I'm going to prep it though. This has got to be retaped. I got to trim the plastic on here and make sure this is nice and clean in here. I always like to give it the once over with a little rag or a little alcohol on certain things. I don't clean the ear pads, but I like to make sure everything's well kept and clean. Again, I don't know if you guys wrap your stuff up like this. I don't know if you just wrap them up or you just take it loosely and put it in the box. Wrap a rubber band around it. I don't know how everybody ships their things out. I like to ship my stuff out with the with like this here, prep good. The other thing is, now, lastly, you might say, well, wait a minute now. That's going to be a small label. How's that label going to be? I go into my system, okay, and I usually, now people say you can shrink to fit. If you shrink to fit this here, the label is going to come out huge. I drop this down for this size, and I've done this again. I have my experience with these. I drop this down on my print when I go to print preview. I drop this down between 60 and 70%. 70% is usually the going one. 70%, the label will fit perfect right here. Okay, it'll fit perfect. Okay, the smaller you drop it, it'll shrink. The more you shrink it down to 60%, 70%. 80% is too big. It'll cover the whole thing here. The reason I do 60 or 70% is because I have small labels that I put across here. It says fragile, handle with care, and do not drop or crush. I put them on there, and I have different sets of labels. I have big sets of labels for bigger boxes. I have smaller sets of labels for smaller boxes. That's what this is going to get. This is not going out priority mail. This is going to go out USPS first class package. I know that there for a fact. So that's how that's going to go out. But if you're wondering about the label, I know a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, look at the size of that box. What kind of label? That's what I do. I have to shrink this down to 60 to 70. It takes 2 seconds, folks. It's not a big step out of your day. It's like, oh my gosh, I got extra work. You go into your print preview when you're on eBay and you get ready to print your label out. Just go in there, go to print preview, and where it says shrink to fit or 100%, whatever, you got to use your own judgment. This box here is definitely a 60 to 70% dimension that you're going to need. And when you print it out, now people might say, yeah, but suppose it comes out so small. Believe me, they can read the barcodes. I've done this. I've done it for a long time now, okay? And I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I never had a problem with it at all. I never had a problem like that. So that's up to you. If you're wondering, if some people may be curious, but I'm going to put a label on here. Where's the guy's going to put a label? It's so small. If you don't want to go on this side, you can go on this side. You go to the wider side. Okay? You can do that too. You don't have to go on this top. You go on the white side. But all right. So let's say I do go with the white side. Sometimes I like to just put them on there, keep them all together. If I go on the white side, I could go, like I said, 70% is no problem. I can even probably do an 80% label size on here. But I want room on the top and in the bottom, because I want to put the fragile handle with care, and I want to put on the bottom here, please do not drop or crush. I had something really quick. I just want to share this really quick, folks. I had somebody was saying, I think it was on, I don't know if it was the Facebook group, or even if it was on this here, and somebody said to, I think said to me, it was in my, I think it was probably Facebook group, putting labels on the boxes is not going to help. People, the post office don't recognize that. Look, here's my take on that there. They make labels, right? I understand people are not going to buy by them. Even though I put this in there, they may take this and throw it in the back there. They don't care, because they probably figure, first of all, it's light. What's going to be? Maybe 5 ounces, 6 ounces. Probably figure, how fragile could it be? Hey, whatever. But you know what? I look at it this way. It lets the buyer know on the other end, when they receive that, hey, the seller did his due diligence. He properly labeled the box. Once it leaves my hands, I go to the counter and say, here's my box. It's got prepaid on it. Once I give it to the window clerk at the postal service, they take it, they scan it in. What they do with it once I leave is their business. They may play football with this thing in a place. They might throw. I don't know what they do with it. It's out of my hands. Okay, I don't know what they're going to do with this yet. I'm hoping, they're going to observe the labels on there and say, well, wait, he's got fragile, handle with care. Please do not drop or crush. Okay? Now, I haven't really had too many people, when I do these things, get back to me and say, I received the item. It was crushed beyond recognition. You couldn't even tell what it was. Okay? So, as far as that person that, I think it was on my Facebook group that mentioned, I don't think a person said something to the effect like, I don't think that matters. I don't think the Postal Service looks at labels. Listen, I'll tell you what, you run your business the way you want to run it, and I'll run it the way I want to run it, okay? I don't care if it's extra, little couple pieces of tape, okay, that I got to put on here. As long as the buyer gets it, they get it, they look at it, say, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I can see the seller did his due diligence. And I'm making a big thing over this, folks. I'm not making a big thing. I'm just trying to say, just sharing that information with you, because, I like to share these things with you guys. But, yeah. I don't pay mind to people like that say stuff like that, in regards to, about the Postal Service. Why do they make labels then? Why did they make them then? If the Postal Service is not going to, utilize those labels or work or live by them or whatever, or honor them, what's the sense of putting them on there? Why do you even bother print them up? Why do all these big, there's some printing companies that print these labels, fragile handle. I got ones that say fragile with glass on it. I got ones that print, and I print them home. I print them on my HP printer. That's why I got an HP printer, the color one. That printer is strictly for when I print my like I said, my labels that say fragile handle care. I print them in red. Okay, I'm not gonna use my laser printer for all of that because it'll come out black. But I want them to see it. I print out the electronic ones for sensitive electronics. It says do not place near electromagnetic fields. That's if I'm selling like a computer part. Let's say it's a hard drive or memory, because if they scan it, they run it through there, you could erase the memory, you could also probably damage it. That's what I was told. I have static bags for things of that nature too. But, I print all my labels out. Like I said again, I do this, I try to run this business to the best of my ability on a frugal basis. A lot of people may not, disagree with me. A lot of people may say, well, I'm not going to do what that guy does. You don't have to. I'm just sharing this with you guys to show you how I send my stuff out. Whether you want to take my advice up or try it, that's totally up to you. Like I said, I take the time to do this here. At first this morning, I said to myself, you know what? Is it really worth it? Should I really make this video? How many people are going to really view it? How many people are going to like it? They may think this is the most boring video I've ever made. I don't know, but I just want to share it with you guys. And just to give you an insight, I mean, think about it, folks. You know, when you're sending something small like this, you know, do you have a proper size box for this here? I mean, do you have them around your house, you know, that you got? I mean, or do you know a supplier besides going to Uline and buying all these different boxes? I don't sell these all the time. Now, if I sold these contingently, okay, I was always selling mouses. I know I have a few on eBay, but I'm thinking about tripping up on that stuff too. But if I was going to sell these here, right, I would give the dimensions to a company like Uline and say, listen, I want a box of 25 or 15, whatever, 50 boxes with the dimensions. It's 6 by 6, 9 by 9, 10 by 10, whatever it may be, and have it like that. Because okay, well, now I got the boxes. They're cut down to this size. I don't have to sit there and craft them and tape them and all that stuff. But you know, for the most part, folks, if you're going to put something like this in an oversized box, I can guarantee, are going to eat that postage. And you might say, and the reason why I'm saying that is because if you, this is how I got it out. Let's say this here is going to cost exactly $3.99, which is going to go out, right, with the packaging and boxing it. I weighed it up already. Now, so now the postage is already paid with eBay. Okay, so the buyer is expecting, oh, $3.99. I'm getting my thing shipped first class, whatever, parcel or first class. Most likely, this is going first class. Now, you're not thinking. You say, well, you know what? Damn, I have to put it in a bigger box. This is the small, and even if you went with this size box, this is definitely going to bring it over. Okay, so if you're making a small enough profit, which I am, to be honest with you, I'm making a small enough profit on this as it is. Okay, it's not even worth telling you what I'm making on. But if I did that, I said, you know what? I don't have a box this size for this thing. This is the smallest one I have. I'm going to put it in here. Now you got to pack it up with a lot of paper because you'd want to run around. You're not going to throw it in there. It's going to rock and roll in there, right? So now you just did is you just increased your postage limit. You over exceeded it, right? And now that money that's coming out of this, what you made your profit, is now going into this. You do the math, you work it out, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I've been through this a few times, and I said, never again is that going to happen, okay? And my other thing is, I was watching another reseller talking about, this person, I'm not going to mention names, was talking about overcharging on shipping. Listen, actually it was two resellers. First off, I'm not going to sell this for $99. As a matter of fact, I didn't get $99 for this. This was the best offer, okay? They were saying, you're going to sell something like this and put $20 or $15 for posting it. That is ludicrous. And I know what this person's talking about. I've seen things like that. Because you'll see things if you go on eBay, you'll be looking for something. You might say $1.99. They're starting off the auction cheap. You know, it's a fixed auction, you know, an auction pricing. And they'll start say $1.99. And then you scroll down, you look, you say, holy jeez, they're charging $15 for something little like this. I do not do that. I would never do that. I wouldn't expect people to buy from me. I wouldn't even buy from me if I did stuff like that. Okay? That is crazy. Okay? But here's my take on this. Now, even if this was a little less than $3.99, okay, let's just say it was less than $3.99. Let's say it came out to $3.50. I don't feel that I did the buyer unjust, because for a simple reason is, and you know it, folks, and I know it, us resellers, and the buyer should know, somebody along the way is going to pay for that box. Now, people may say, wait a minute, you bought this box here for $1.10, whatever it is at Walmart, $1.32, whatever it is, and you're making other boxes out of it. Yeah, but here's the point. I still have to buy this box. Okay? Time is money. How long did it take me to do this, you know? All I'm saying is, you know, if you do, I'm not saying miscalculate, but if you give a guesstimation, I don't believe in guesstimations, but this is going to come out to $3.99. I know that because I already weighed it up. I put packaging. I have another box already crafted. I'm showing you from start to finish. If I did go over, I mean, if this was a little less than that there, I don't feel like I did the buyer unjust. Okay? Because first off, they paid the $3.99. They knew they were getting it for $3.99. You know, that's what the postage is, but that's what this is going to be. And the simple thing, and the simple reason is that somebody, somewhere along the line, money has to come out to pay for the material. I don't get these for nothing, folks. Okay, you might say, people might say, yeah, but you craft boxes out of them, so you get one box, you can make. Yes, that's true. That's true. But I still had to buy the box to craft the other boxes. So please don't take it the wrong way. I am not doing the buyer an unjust. You know, if it comes out where you're a little under than what you're sending, what the total price is, just look at it this way: that it's covering your cost for the box, the material, and it's nickels on it's dimes and nickels on there on your gas, your transportation to schlep this over to the post office. So you know what I'm saying? It's a small price to pay, but it also works out in the end. Okay. I'm not saying this is how it is all the time. I'm just trying to say for people, because I heard people talking about that. Oh, you know, some sellers are overcharging. You know, they're overcharging. I don't overcharge the buyers. Okay, I don't overcharge the buyers. eBay has it from 1 pound to 2 pounds, 2 pounds to 3. That's I don't know if the post office set up. That's their guidelines. Okay, so when you put something down that says 2 to 3 pounds. You're in that ballpark figure, you're that range. So if the item that you're selling is 2 pounds, but the post office has 2 to 3 pounds, that's the way they gear it up. Okay, not me. I don't make the rules up with that there. But if you go to eBay, you guys are sellers and buyers. You know because the buyers are also sellers too. You know when you're putting prices in there until you get to custom. And custom, you want to be, you know, when it comes to custom, I usually do is I have a thing where, if I have a heavy item, I'm thinking in my mind what's going in. When I sell computers, or not computers, printers, I wrap them on cardboard. And then I do the packaging around them. Okay? So I may add an extra pound to it. So let's say the thing is 10 pounds, I might say it's 11 pounds. I have to. Because if I don't, I'm going to be eating that additional cost. Now people say, well, don't wrap cardboard around it and it won't bring it up. It doesn't work that way. I want to make sure, like I said again, when it gets to my buyers, it gets them in one piece, not in pieces. Now, people want to sell. If you want to do things your way and that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But just think about it, okay? I'm not saying what the other reseller says is bad. I'm just looking at it from my point of view. I've had this a couple times happen to me, where I undercharged for shipping, and it came off my profits. Okay. So, you know, especially if you're using best offer, I'm not getting my full price for this here. Okay, this I had to charge with shipping. So, you know, when the buyer paid the price for this here, I accepted the best offer, right? And they got it. They saved some money on it, no doubt. You know, and it's going to come to $3.99 for shipping. So that's fair. Okay, but again, if I took what I think a bucket change offer rate that they got cheap. I think they got it for $1.50 cheaper, whatever, than what I'm selling it for. If I put it in an oversized box, like I said again, there goes the profit. So think about it, folks. You do your own calculations and you figure it out. And you know, for those sellers that are talking about other sellers, you know, look at the YouTube people that talk about overcharging and shipping and handling and stuff like that. Listen, that's ludicrous. People shouldn't even be in business like that. That if you're going to rip people off on shipping, handling, and charges like that, that is crazy. I would never put this on eBay, selling it for $10 and say shipping is $20. That is insane. Totally insane. I mean, you'd have to be stone cold crazy to even do something like that. Okay, so that's not what I do. All right, I'm fair. You know, people may say, well, maybe you add a little extra to it, you know, like in other words, like, you know, you go out of your way, you put little things like this on there. I have to, because I don't want the buyers to get something damaged. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure they're getting the items, you know, in one piece. And sometimes, to be honest with you, just to share this and before I close this video, I told you I sent a ceramic outdoor lantern, you know, for an outdoor light fixture. I packed that thing in styrofoam. I mean, literally styrofoam, all the way wrapped around. I did a video on it. You can watch it in the video. I think the video is how I send out fragile items. You can see what I'm talking about. The buyer gets it a couple days later and says, "You ain't gonna believe what happened. I just received this item today, and it's broken. It's shattered. You know, not the glass was shattered, but the bottom part ceramic was shattered, and there was a chip on the top." And I said to myself, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It was wrapped in styrofoam. I'm not talking about padding. I'm talking about the actual styrofoam. I mean, it would have had to been dropped from a high place. Seriously, for it to break. I don't know how it broke like that because I had styrofoam, the top, sides, bottoms. It was all styrofoamed out. And I don't mean wrapping around stuff. I'm talking about the hard, like this semi stuff, you know, styrofoam, you know, the padding like itself, you know, the harder material. And when I seen pictures, I said, oh my gosh, I go, I can't believe this. Sent it back, refunded the buyer, put a claim in for it. Postal Service issued a claim. That's it. Now it's back up on eBay in case you want to see it. It's a ceramic one. It's still in good condition. The bulbs test, everything works on there. The only thing is on the top ceramic part, there's a little chip on the back of it. But if you turn it around, if you put it on your house, if you turned it around, you put it on the back there, you know, you turn that thing around, the top looks pretty nice. The only thing that you would have to do, if it bothered you, is make a base for it. If you're handy, you can make a base out of wood. You know, you can craft something out of wood. If you're a carpenter or something like that, or a woodworker, you can make it with the wood. And of course, you would, you know, you could probably spray paint it, whatever, make it the same color. It's like a beige or an eggshell color. You could put that on there. If you got handy with a router, you could probably craft something that looks like that. It's a nice lantern. It's on eBay right now. I think, I'm not sure if I got it for $19.99 or $9.99. I don't remember offhand. I also have a brass one that's there that has watches on it. You can check that out if you want to. It's a nice lantern. It's still got all the things in there. The only thing is on the bottom of the brass part, that part broke. But I included it with it in case somebody could, again, craft a piece on that there. It's a nice lantern, it really was. If you look at the pictures of it before and after, it was terrible. It really was. I felt so bad. And the buyer was looking very anxious to get it. I remember the buyer writing back saying, I was waiting to get this thing. I couldn't wait to get it and put it up my house. That's what happened, folks. And I put everything on there, stickers, big letters, fragile, handle with care. I put glass, fragile, handle with care, do not drop or crush. I mean, I had that thing so stick it up. It was also the priority mail stickers on it. And it still got the person broken like that. It was a shame. It really was. It was a shame. But you could see it on my eBay listings. You'll see it. It's a ceramic one. The bottom base is broken, unfortunately. But yeah, it works though. Everything works. Thank God the glass sides on there are not broken. The bulbs are not broken. I tested each bulb out. All the bulbs work on there. I think it's either 2 or 3 on there. It works good. You know, it works good. But anyway, that was the today's video on crafting boxes. Okay. You know, putting something like, you don't want to put something like this in an oversized boxes, but this is what this video is all about. If you've never been to my channel before, guys, my name is Rjpasini from Rjpasini-com. I do sneak peek videos, demo videos, and intro videos. This one here is like a do-it-yourself crafting custom boxes. I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. Some of you may like it. You might say, yeah, that's a pretty good tip, you know, stuff like that, you know. And some of you may not like it. You might drop it in the comments, say, well, you know, that's nice, but it's not for me. And that's okay, I understand it. I just want to share this stuff with you guys. If you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you guys as subscribers. If you think this was good, you got anything out of it, you want to give it a thumbs up, that's great as well. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Now I got to craft the other box and get that ready to ship out. So I will talk to you again soon. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.